Tell me something. Have you ever replayed the last sentence your ex said to you? Not because it mattered, but because it broke a piece of you still haven't recovered? Because if you have, you're not watching this video by accident. You're here because something inside you still aches. Not for them, but for the version of yourself that loved too honestly, trusted too deeply, and got destroyed for it. And the truth you've been avoiding? You didn't lose them. They lost someone they'll spend years trying to replace. But here's the part nobody tells you. The universe didn't let them leave. It removed them. It protected you from a future your heart wouldn't have survived. You think you're broken right now? No, you're being rebuilt. In the next seconds, I'm going to show you the signs that something greater, call it fate, call it God, call it a higher power, has been protecting you long before you even realized you needed protection. But before we go deeper, do one thing. Write the last thing your ex ever said to you in the comments. Not for them, not for me, for you. To release it, to free yourself from carrying it alone. And if these words already feel like they're pulling you somewhere dark and honest, then hit subscribe, because what comes next is going to explain every unanswered question. Your heart still whispers at 3 a.m. One, silence that comes from self-control. Most people argue, react, explode, but the man learned something powerful. When you control your tongue, you control the entire situation. A Stoic does not respond to everything. He chooses his battles. He listens more than he speaks. And strangely, silence in the right moment speaks louder than anger ever could. When you stop reacting to small provocations, your loved one begins to see your depth, your maturity, your emotional power. Silence becomes your strength, not your weakness. 2. Improving yourself when no one is watching. He stopped trying to prove his value with words and began proving it with his evolution. He worked on his health. He worked on his finances. He worked on his boundaries. He worked on his discipline. But here's the key. He didn't announce it. He didn't brag. He didn't post motivational quotes. He simply grew. And the more he grew, the more his partner began to feel it. Not through what he said, but through what he became. Self-improvement without noise is attractive. It's magnetic. It's unforgettable. It shows your worth louder than any "I love you" ever could. For respecting yourself first, one of the greatest silent actions is this. Stop tolerating what hurts your peace. He stopped letting disrespect slide. He stopped accepting breadcrumbs. He stopped apologizing for having standards. He realized that if he didn't respect himself, his loved one would never truly respect him either. So he walked differently, spoke differently, carried himself differently, not arrogantly, but with quiet dignity. And the moment he respected himself, others had no choice but to follow, or being there without begging to be chosen. Instead of asking, "Do you love me? Do you still want me? Do you care?" he simply showed up when needed and stepped back when it was time. He offered his presence, but he no longer begged for attention. And here's the twist. When you stop seeking validation, people start validating you on their own. His loved one noticed something had shifted. He wasn't cold. He wasn't distant. He was simply stable, unshakable, comfortable in his own worth. That alone made him infinitely more attractive. Farce listening more deeply than anyone else. Silence isn't the absence of words. It's the presence of attention. For the first time, he truly listened. Not to respond, not to defend, not to win. He listened to understand. And when someone feels truly heard, they feel truly loved. He didn't need flowery sentences. He didn't need dramatic gestures. His silence gave space for her truth. And she began trusting him again, not because he convinced her, but because he understood her. 6. Walking away from chaos without announcement. One day, a fight almost happened. She pushed. She tested. She wanted to argue. And the old version of him would have jumped into the fire. But the new him simply said nothing. He walked away. Calmly. Quietly. Stoicism teaches, when you refuse chaos, chaos loses power over you. This one action shocked her more than anything. People expect noise when they push you. But when you give silence instead, they suddenly see you differently. They realize you're not fragile. You're controlled, focused, strong. 7. Showing love without losing yourself. He stopped loving in a way that hurt him. He stopped giving away all of his energy. He stopped sacrificing his identity for the relationship. Instead, he began loving with boundaries, with strength, with emotional discipline. He didn't say, "I'll do anything for you." Instead, his action said, "I care deeply, but I won't abandon myself." That subtle change made all the difference. Because respect grows where self-respect lives. Consistency without seeking applause. Most people are consistent only when they're being watched. But he remained consistent even in silence. He kept his word. He followed through. He showed up. Every time, even when she didn't notice, even when she didn't appreciate it. Because true worth doesn't need recognition. It reveals itself through reliability, and slowly, quietly, she began realizing, this man is different. He doesn't just talk. He lives what he says. Consistency is the love language of strong souls. Ours becoming the calm she can lean on. Every relationship has storms, but instead of becoming another storm, he became the anchor. When she panicked, he stayed steady. When she doubted, he stayed grounded. When life fell apart, he didn't. His silence wasn't emptiness. It was protection, stability, strength. This final silent action is what made her truly see his worth. Not because he demanded it, not because he begged for it, but because calmness is rare, and rare things are valuable. The turning point. One evening, she looked at him and said something she had never said before. "I didn't realize how lucky I was." Not because he changed for her, but because he changed for himself. And she witnessed the transformation. That's the secret. When you silently elevate yourself, the world eventually recognizes your worth. The Stoic truth. Stoicism teaches that your value isn't something you announce. It's something you demonstrate. Through silence, through discipline, through calmness, through boundaries, through steady, unwavering self-respect. You do not show your worth by talking. You show it by becoming powerful emotional reminder. Before we end this, look at your life right now. Think about how many times you tried to prove your worth to someone, only to be ignored, underestimated, or taken for granted. Now hear this. You never had to prove anything. You only had to grow silently and let your transformation speak for you. Your worth was always there. You just needed to stop explaining it and start living it. Conclusion. If this message reached you, if you felt something shift inside you, then maybe this was the moment you finally needed. A moment of clarity, a moment of strength, a moment of quiet awakening. Use these 9 silent actions, not to manipulate someone, not to win someone back, but to become the strongest version of yourself and let your loved ones see your worth naturally. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.